Hello and welcome. I don't know whether to call him Your Excellency or Honourable. Abdallah Azorka is a very fine brain, and there is no denying that fact. I'm pushing him a bit away from his comfort zone today. And today we are discussing what our brothers and sisters from the north should expect when they come down south, and how can they continue to be positive agents of change to the larger Republic of Ghana. Certainly the north continues to produce very key players in terms of nation building and our development as a country. And today we have Honourable Abdallah Azorka Topic. Honourable, thank you so much for making time.
Thank you, Alaji, but it's been a while.
Yes, Honourable.
I think beginning of this year we haven't met.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah, beginning of the year we haven't.
The last interview we did was on the back of Tekusai.
Tekusai demonstration. But after
Tekusai
we have had.
Happened in January, or it was in December?
No, it was in December.
Okay.
Is it January or December? No, it was. Yeah, it was in January.
In January. So
in January, yeah. We've met
year.
once, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we say the north, and now there has been a couple of divisions. We hear of Savannah, northern region doesn't include certain places.
Yeah, it's Upper West.
Describe to us, in terms of migration or history, how did we as a people come to cover that geographical part of this country?
Well, sometimes if you look at the division of the north, I would say it's a division that is in the periphery. It does not really have any developmental impact or demarcation of development with respect to what we expect as northerners. It is just a name that we have a Savannah region which was carved out of the northern region. We have Upper East, Upper West carved from the northern region. And we've now gotten the northern region itself, composing other tribes or some few tribes. And you go to Savannah region, it consists with a majority tribe of Gonjes. And you go to the Upper East and Upper West, where you have the Farfares, the Wales, that is the Upper West area. But basically, you don't have to look at it from that angle. You ask yourself, what developmental impact has that got to do with us as northerners? And if you look at it, sometimes you'll be tempted or you are compelled to tell yourself that as someone who is coming from that area, a lot more needs to be done in terms of development, especially both the human development and the regional development. We have a lot with respect to development to do. And I think over the years, northerners, we've not been left behind in terms of nation building. And I think based upon what we have experienced as northerners, there is the need for us to assess situation, explore and address the invariants that we are confronted with as northerners, and ensure that we have a solid and a robust developmental trend from or in the north. So I think that just carving out areas from the north is not really the matter, but bringing the needed and the expected development in order to improve upon lives, in order to ensure that we eradicate poverty from the north, in order to ensure that the enabling environment is created for jobs opportunity to be created for our people, is what we should be focusing on. But as it is currently, I am not really enthused with the fact that northern region is divided or is being carved out of areas. I'm not really enthused with that.
Honourable, there was a time people were saying, why should a northerner be the first gentleman of the country when most of the nation's resources, gold, cocoa, would normally come from the southern half? What in terms of measurable resources does the north offer? Is it the fertile, arable land, or there are other things the north brings to the national development table?
Sometimes I would say it is a limited understanding and appreciation of economic trends. For someone to have assumed that because northerners are coming from a limited resource zone or mineral resource zone, does not deserve to be the #1 gentleman of the land. Mind you, if you don't have a robust human resource, it will be very difficult for you to judiciously manage the mineral resource or the natural resources you have as a country. And I believe that the northerners, we possessed qualities in terms of human resource, and you cannot take away the fact that in terms of national development, northerners, we haven't contributed our quota. We have contributed a significant quota towards developing this country, and up to tomorrow, we still maintain that position, and we continue on that trend in ensuring that we give our best and to ensure that we stir the economic fortunes of the country to benefit the good people of this country. One thing that people really don't understand, north we have the cashew. So for you to say northerners, you don't have mineral resources, it means that economically you are limited.
Wow.
We have cotton. If you haven't taken all these things into cognizance, and you expect me to believe that you are of a sound economic position to know where human resources are basically coming from, that means that you haven't broadened your scope of assessing where mineral resources are coming from. And if you look at it, as I earlier indicated, you cannot judiciously manage your mineral resources when you don't have a robust and a resilient human resource. And if you look at what we have done in this country, I don't really intend to play politics here, but it is imperative for us to bring certain issues to give a clear picture as to why the northerners are positioned in terms of, or well positioned in terms of managing this country's economy or this country's resources very well. We have had an opportunity where a northerner ascends to the leadership of the presidency, assume the presidency.
Yes,
His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. And his track record is something that everybody in this country can attest to. And his track record is unprecedented, and his track record is unmatched. Because if you look at what he brought, what he introduced as president, President Mahama as president was the one under whose tenure we have our international airports today that African airlines cannot land because of the weather, but due to technical improvement in our airport, we have all these African airlines being diverted to Ghana for safe landing.
In terms of bad weather, across the sub-region.
Across the sub-region. So if today you will sit somewhere and say that, oh, a northerner is not capable, or people from a little resource area, mineral resource area, does not deserve or do not deserve to rule this country. It means that you are being disingenuous to the group of our country. Hadn't been President Mahama's intervention, today these aircrafts from the sub-region would have returned back from where they were coming from. But for good leadership and prudent management, today they have an African area where they can land safely without having any difficulty with weather conditions. So I'm saying that if you look at the north, we have produced giants who have managed this country resources very well to benefit the people of this country. Today, MPP. The current administration.
You've made a very valid point.
I'm making a point.
I'm sure when we look at the macro issues, if care is not taken, you enter into governance. But Honourable, I'll draw your attention.
I want to make this point. It is devoid of politics.
Okay.
It is not political. If you look at the current administration, we are having the vice president of the current administration, who is a northerner.
And you cannot.
Will you have anything good to say about Dr. Baumia?
No, who is a Northerner? And this country's economic team cannot be managed in his absence. He is the head of economic management team.
I see.
And today, for successes of this government to be touted in terms of economic management, you can't do that without him. You understand?
I'm happy you are.
You see, Northerners, we are well positioned.
Okay.
Northerners, we have taken positions and we are playing a pivotal role.
Have we had any Bank of Ghana
governor? Governor of Bank of Ghana.
Isaku was Ishaku.
Dr. Nazir Isaku. Yes, he was.
And he did well?
He did very, very well.
But we've not yet had a Northern IGP, have we?
No, we had Alassane.
Oh, Mohammed Al-Hassan. Mohammed Ahmed Al-Hassan. Okay.
Al-Hassan.
And the Chief Justice?
Chief Justice, we are yet to produce the Chief Justice.
Speaker of Parliament?
Speaker of Parliament, inshallah, then we'll produce a Speaker of Parliament.
So it means
sometime
honorable
in our parliamentary history.
So honorable, it means the North isn't doing badly at all.
We are not doing bad when it comes to national development. We are not doing bad when it comes to the forefront of running this country. So the northern region is well positioned. We have a very good human resources and as well as mineral resources too.
Wow. Wow. Honorable, away from the macro issues, a lot of young people come from Bagabaga, they come from Nangpanduri, they come from...
Bagabaga
it's a training college, yes.
It should be an area.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then Binduri, we have this Stephen Atubiga who had presidential ambitions. But the average Northerner leaves home with scanty resources in terms of upkeep. And the destination is usually Kumasi or Accra. Honorable, let's hear from you, your own experience. Did you come here originally for school, or you came here to start doing petty business and you decided to pursue education? How was the welcome like for you?
My story...
And you don't speak Trio, unfortunately.
My story of coming to the South,
yes,
was basically to have an education.